Betsy, Exton, I own here on Main. It's really kind of strange, like how in the world do you get into colon hydrotherapy and cleansing, right? My background is I have a psychology major, undergrad, and I have a master's degree in education. I was a counselor for adolescents, and that was like, it was wonderful, but I wasn't able to do exactly everything I needed to do with people. And I realized a lot of it is because of their health and their nutrition. You know, because you can work on certain things, but unless people are putting good stuff in their bodies and cleansing their bodies, you know, you can only get so far. And that was the case with myself. You know, I had the worst digestive system. Used to go to the bathroom once a month, pretty much my whole life. Went to specialists and doctors and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, they're like, eat more fiber, run more, drink more water. But in the meantime, I'm like half dead, like dealing with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, etc. And so when I was 22, someone said, go get colon hydrotherapy, go get colonic. And again, at the time, I was like, what in the world is that? You know? And so I did. And I ended up doing a series of them. And my therapist was like, I need you to go home and every day sit on the toilet and get out a journal and write down, like, okay, sat 3 minutes, no movement. Next day, sat 4 minutes, no movement. Sat Wednesday, little Tootsie Roll came out, you know, whatever. And what it was getting me to learn to practice to be in control of my health instead of my health being in control of me. So it was really eye-opening that once I started getting colonics and getting the garbage out and taking the time to sit on the toilet, that all of a sudden my body had to work for me. And I didn't realize that all that waste in your body, what it can do to you. And again, it was really the reason why I had depression and anxiety. So a lot of mental illness comes from, you know, the body being sick. So that's how I kind of got into the field. You know, again, after graduate school, did a bunch of stuff, traveled the world. And then I moved to Puerto Rico and I worked at a healing center. Got certified to do colon hydrotherapy, and I stayed there for a year working with people with stage 4 cancer, AIDS, Crohn's, diabetes, Lou Gehrig's. Some people were literally getting carried into these centers, and they would leave 3 weeks, maybe 2 months later, feeling great, and they're refreshed, and their body feels good, and they're walking out the door. It was unbelievable, the transformation. That's when I was like, okay, something's to this. What is it? Well, it's really what we say here is our motto, it's the good and bad out, and you can't do just one without the other. A lot of people are like, oh, I switched my diet, now I'm eating salad every day. And I'm like, and that's it? Like, that is not enough. Personally, if I ate salad every day, I would be like this, and I'd run to the, you know, my room and cry hysterically to Natalie, like, help me. I need a colonic. Because a lot of raw vegetables isn't good either. You know, sometimes you got to juice them, sometimes you got to do shakes, sometimes you got to do greens. That's how I kind of got into understanding that, you know, the theory used to be we are what we eat, and now it's kind of we are what we eat and don't eliminate. So elimination is the key. Yeah. And so we talk about all the reasons why we have to cleanse, okay? Well, a lot of foods are one molecule away from plastic. A lot of the food we eat isn't actually food, it's just kind of some weird chemical thing that they came up with when they sell at McDonald's. In the air, they say now our air is only 17% oxygen. So people's lungs, everybody nowadays is on those sleep apnea machines. They're not getting oxygen. The preservatives in the foods. The soils, you know, we've sprayed the soil, it's depleted of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, so you're not getting what you need even when you are eating the carrots that were grown but sprayed, and now they're on the shelf in the grocery store, right? So obviously looking for organic, looking for local grown, that's all important. But again, these are really a lot of ways why we get to the point where we're like, okay, we have to cleanse. And so what does cleansing mean? Today we're going to talk about like doing colonics, cleansings, that kind of stuff, but also at-home cleanses, which is really, and I know a lot of you are familiar with some of them, but so really it's kind of one of those moving, pulling, and then getting it out. But if you just try to loosen things, like a lot of doctors will prescribe just laxatives, and that gets you to go, but you're just putting a Band-Aid on it, and all you're getting rid of is whatever's irritated. They're just irritants. They go in, they irritate your system, and you run the toilet and you get rid of whatever was irritating. You know, for certain things, if there's something that needs an emergency situation, I'm like, okay, if you need a Miralax immediately because you haven't gone in 6 days and you're stuck and you need to do it that one time, I'm kind of okay with it. But the difference is what we like to do is a formula of like natural herbs that combine together to get your body to start working for itself. So what we want to do is stimulate the muscle. We want to get that muscle to peristalsis, working again. And we want to hydrate you so much that things are looser and you can slippery. You know, you can do things that make things slippery. Like even with children, drinking aloe vera juice is like a lubrication. It's almost like making that slope down the digestive tract slippery. And that's what you want. You know, that's why I tell people sometimes to do, oh God, what's that thing? Okra. I didn't know what okra was until I moved to the South. But, you know, certainly not deep fried okra, but doing like boiled okra is amazing for your digestive tract. For kids especially because it's like slimy. And that was because you know your kid's not going to take 10 pills. There's no way. I won't even take 10 pills. I can't stand that.
And I'm using that.
But you can open exactly. But you can open them up. It's what it is the difference is it's more gentle, it's effective, and it allows your body to learn to work for itself. Whereas the Miralax works like an irritant. And that's actually how I found myself in the situation I was in, because my mother did the same thing. I was very constipated, and the doctor was like, laxative, laxative. So I did laxative after laxative. By the time I was 20, I was in college and undergrad, and all my housemates were going to the bathroom every day, and I thought, well, gee, that's weird. Must be nice. Yeah. I was like, how come you guys are using all the toilet paper? Like, I don't need that much. Yeah, literally, that's what I was like. Unless I took a laxative, I wouldn't go. My body did not work. With colon hydrotherapy, it forces the muscle to expand and contract and expand, and that's why it was so successful for me, is because it forced my body to wake up. It's literally like going to the gym on the inside. It makes that muscle start moving and contracting and expanding and contracting, and you can actually see it. And once we get the water in there, we're not vacuuming anything out. We're not pulling or sucking anything out. You guys know how it works, some of you. But what we're doing is hydration and relaxation. And then the body starts to wake up, and it starts working for itself, which is what you want, especially for people that are young, to get them trained so by the time they're in the 20s and 30s and 40s, they don't have this problem. But yeah, it's definitely different in that the goal for us is like, it's more like resolution based instead of a Band-Aid, right? We want it to work forever, or try to. So as far as like other ways of fasting, we talked about detoxing, vitamin grains. A lot of you guys are familiar with vitamin grains. Yeah. So vitamin grain is definitely one of our, it's like our, what do we call it? Like our milk of the store. It's like the staple, because we looked and we researched, when I opened up this store, we researched all green drinks, what's in them as far as chlorella, spirulina, barley grasses, wheatgrasses, all the different kind of vitamins and minerals and all the stuff that's in there. It's one of the best I've ever seen in my life. Right. It's whole food. And it is a substitute for some people as a meal, especially people who want to do weight loss. We definitely let them know vitamin grains with a little bit of apple juice, so it tastes better, in a jar with maybe some hemp seeds for extra protein, but that's your meal. And so a lot of people, if you know friends or whatever, that are looking to lose weight, instead of going on some crazy diet plan, start doing real nutrition.
How much do you take a day?
I do about 2 tablespoons, but there were times when I've been sick and I've taken more. Yeah. 2 tablespoons twice a day is actually great. Yeah, both my friend and I, when we came back from one of my trips to Puerto Rico, we both ended up getting infected with Lyme's disease, which was so frustrating. Still working on all that, but both of us were pretty sick and like almost bedridden, and she was doing about 11 tablespoons of vitamin grains a day. I didn't think to do that. I was doing some, but I was working 24 hours a day, and I just kind of was like jumping through it. Well, she's way better than me, and she was doing better then. She could function and work all day and all night, and it changed her life. And for me, it took me a while to be like, oh God, why don't I just go to nutrition? But so for instances where you're not feeling well, you can take as much as you want because it's food. It's real food source. Yeah, and that's when you really feel a difference, is when you miss a day. And I have so many people that are doing vitamin grains, and they're like, I didn't really know until I missed a day, and all of a sudden they're like, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're dead to the world. They're exhausted and they can't function. And it's because that stuff has so much nutrition in it that your body just soaks it up, and it just loves it. And it's a good kick on that one. So again, that's definitely part of the formula. I couldn't that out. The drawing formulas, which is under there, that is important. I mean, it's very important for people that really want to make a transformation in their lives. A lot of us want to just move, but what's important is drawing with something like bentonite clay, some kind of drawing formula to pull off that lining. I always use the analogy, doing colonics is like going to the dentist. It's like we brush our teeth every day, and then we go to the dentist to get in between the teeth, to get the plaque and the sludge and all those corners. That's like colon hydrotherapy. Ideally, you go to the bathroom every day. Colon hydrotherapy, we open up the muscle wall, we open up what's called haftas, little pockets, and we get the plaque and the sludge away from that lining. Well, drawing formula is something you can do at home to help do that. And that's going to pull that sludge. They say right now, when I started this field 15 years ago, the average American had 15 to 20 pounds of waste in their body. It's now been 15 years, we're in 2018, now the average person has 20 to 25 pounds of waste in their body. And that's average. Some people are walking around with 50 pounds. I mean, Elvis Presley died with 40-something pounds of waste on the toilet. He died because he was so impacted. Yeah. John Wayne had like 40 pounds. And there's actually a colon, I learned about this, in Pennsylvania, in a museum, I don't even know the name of it, in Philly somewhere. It is a colon had over 100 pounds. That's a being, that's a person, of waste in it. And it was just distended. That's a colon. Yeah. So we just aren't getting out what we need to. It's incredible.
So when you say the average person has 20 pounds, you're talking specifically about the colon, not like extra weight.
No, waste, like colon waste. Yeah. Oh yeah, intestinal waste. Oh yeah, 100% true. And that's the other reason why to do it. You can't absorb your vitamins and minerals. So we can eat all the good we want. I tell some people, you just throw your money away. If you're going organic and you're buying all this expensive stuff, and you're going to Swamp Rib and you're going to Whole Foods and you're spending all this money, but you've never cleansed what's in there, you just might as well throw your money away because you're not absorbing that extra stuff. You're not really getting the effects of the nutrition and the extra energy from it. That goes to your brain, that goes everywhere.
Very good point.
It's a huge point. And we spend so much money on, I want the best shakes, I want the best juices, I'm going to, Southern Press today and Happy Health tomorrow, and I'm going to spend all this money. Well, okay, that's great, but you might as well just throw your money away and eat a tuna fish sandwich that was on that street corner because you can't get the nutrients from what you're getting unless you have ways to absorb. So it's big, it is. And the other thing for that is like chewing. 75% of digestion takes place in your mouth. So 75% of all of what you eat is broken down with your teeth. That's called mastication. That's why your teeth are there. We don't have teeth anywhere else. So, but now, especially in this country, we're always in a hurry. We got 427 things to get done. We got 20-minute lunch, maybe a breakfast if you get it, and you shovel it in. And the more we shovel in, well, then it gets down here and your body goes, oh, whoa. That was all supposed to be done up there. I can't do this. And so let me do this. Let me store this as fat. Let me give you indigestion. Let me give you acid reflux and GERD and belching and burping and acid. All right, so bring it back. Chewing. So if we don't do it all here, it's going to get a hard time doing it there. And that's why a lot of people get bloated. And that's the main reason is because we don't eat slow enough. And so the important thing is small portion sizes. They say your stomach is from your middle fingers to your thumbs. That's as big as the amount that should be on your plate at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, literally that's it. And you go to Europe and you go to France, you go to all these wonderful little cute little cafes and you sit down to eat and it's a $30, $50, $70 meal and it comes out like this and we're like, what in the world is that? That's your meal. That's all you need. And that's, the reason our plates are this big was for decoration. Do you know this? Yeah, the plate sizes back in the 20s and 30s, whatever, they were this big. And I think it started in the romantic period. Well, that would be a while further, but romantic period. I can't remember. They started saying, well, let's decorate the plates. So they got a big plate, but the reason was for the outside circle to be decoration, not to be loaded up. Right, so it was supposed to be for paintings and beautiful designs. Well, especially here, we were like, well, more is better. So we just throw on this and this and this. So with that being said, if you got this much meal, but you only got this much time to eat, now we're getting ourselves messed up. So taking more time, chewing your food, smaller portions, that will majorly help with digestion. Exercise, of course, is super important. I forgot, I was going to check something on my phone. I woke up this morning and I was thinking about this presentation, and I always get these random motivational quotes. Ailey helped me sign up for that. And the one said, if you don't find time to have some kind of exercise or movement in your daily routine, you're going to be forced to find time to have illness. Yeah, and I was like, that is so true. If we, every day, it's like, I don't have time to work out. I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time for exercise. You'll find time for illness because it will knock you over like a 2x4. And that's exactly how it is with all the elimination organs. We have 5 different channels of elimination. Your skin being your biggest, which is why we're so excited about bringing in Beauty Counter because it doesn't have all the chemicals. Your skin is the biggest organ in your body, and it's your biggest elimination organ. That's why sweating is so important. Drinking your water, intaking your water so you can sweat because that's going to clean your body. Your colon, of course, is an elimination organ. Your kidneys are elimination organ. The bladder, your liver, your lymph. And your lymph, which your blood has a pump, right? Your blood is always cleaning and moving and cleaning and moving and pumping. Your lymph has no pump. So your lymph is carrying toxins all the time, but it doesn't have a way to move. That's why jumping up and down, getting on total body vibration machines, moving your body, the rebounder, which is that jumping thing, or you can get lymph massages, get the lymph, it's right underneath the skin, so it's hard to kind of get to with a regular massage, but we do have a person here who's now doing the lymphatic drainage massage on Sundays, and it's just getting under the skin and getting that stuff into another channel of evacuation, elimination, moving.
And your lungs.
Yeah, and your lungs. Oh, yes, of course, in your lungs. Yeah, so which, of course, of why we exercise. I mean, if you don't start moving, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, if you don't start moving, you're going to get get sick. It's the number one truth. You're gonna get sick. You either move or you die. Those are two options. You're growing or you're shrinking. So which one? Yeah, that's it. Sleep obviously being just as necessary. That's when your body rejuvenates. And a lot of us have a hard time sleeping because we're so stressed. With kids, with school, with education, with jobs, with finances, with relationships, we're so exhausted. And then you get to bed and you lay down, and we talked about this today. We get to bed and we lay down, we're like, oh shoot, I would have, I could have, I should have, I'm supposed to, when am I going to, what's going to happen in 2 years, what happened 2 weeks ago? And your brain just goes and goes and goes. And that's why eating well, exercising, doing the cleansing, doing the detoxing, get the poison out of your body. That way the brain doesn't have to do all that. You feel clean, you feel clear, and then you can really sleep. And there are stuff that, just like with the combination of herbs that help you move, there are a combination of herbs that do help you sleep. And I think some of you are familiar with some of those, but like ashwagandha, sleep care, which is a combination. I mean, I take a couple different things that just kind of stress is number one because you stay like this. Well, if your body's like this, what do you think your colon's doing? It's not releasing. You're like this. So working on stress, majorly important. One thing I've realized by doing colon hydrotherapy is how when you cleanse the body, you cleanse the soul. You cleanse the spirit, you cleanse emotions, you cleanse physical, mental, emotional all at one time. I can't tell you how many times, and I'm sure Natalie has happened to you, I have someone on the table and they're stuck and we're doing abdominal massage and we're hydrating, we're relaxing, and we've got the slow music going and the lighting, and I'm still having a hard time. They're sticky. Next thing you know, they start talking about something. You know, their rough childhood or their challenging husband, or, you know, they might need to change a job, and next thing you know, they start talking about it, like mentally, emotionally, and the physical body just starts releasing. And it literally just starts pouring. Black sludge, garbage that could have been in the body for 10, 20 years that they've just hold on to.
Do them.
I do one once a month.
Once a month.
I do. There was times that I have not felt well and I've had to do more, but now I definitely do them once a month. I always recommend for people who have never ever done them, I do recommend you do a series of 3. And if you haven't done them in a long time, I always recommend that as well, because the anatomy, which I'll talk about quickly, but the anatomy is from mouth to exit is you've got 40 feet of digestive tract, literally 40 feet. That is like 8 of us on top of each other, and it's shoved into this little spot. If you take the small intestine and you stretch it out, it will literally cover the area of a football field. It's so small with a little villi, it catches so much material. So it now, like when I first started doing this 14, 15 years ago, now I have 15,000 clients all over the world. When I first started doing it, I would see anybody, whoever came in, I would clean them, and Natalie, I know this happened with you. Well, we found that some people were so stuck that unless they did some work preparation, they had to drink the water, a gallon. I mean, get the water in. 70% of our bodies are water. So 70% of what you put in your body a day should be just water. Just water. So they need to hydrate. They need to get things loosened up and moving, because that way when I get them back in the room, I can do the best we can do. That way you get the most effective result from the cleaning. Like she said, clean up the stuff that's in the way, and then let me get the deep cleaning out. Yeah, about these, like I had a client today that was like, you know, I've been taking oxy powder, and I tried this, and I don't want to become dependent on it. And I was like, you can't become dependent on this stuff. It's not habit forming. It's oxygen, it's magnesium, it's things that we're depleted of because we're not getting it out there. You know, it's food based, it's real minerals, it's real nutrients. So like if I have to become addicted to oxygen and magnesium and real nutrition, okay, that's great. I'll rather get addicted to that than taking some weird laxative that's going to irritate my system that's never going to make me any better. I touch on it quickly because Sibyl Fuel, one of the questions I was always faced with is, didn't God make us or create us in such a way that we can naturally eliminate waste from our bodies? And that's a fantastic question, and the answer is, of course. We were made came up where colon hydrotherapy started evolving was from birds, which is really weird. It all started from birds. What birds do when they're sick is if they don't feel good, they get bird flu, they literally take their beaks, dip it in water, cleanse their colon, dump out their garbage, and they fly away. Literally. It's where it all started. They do it to themselves. Absolutely. And then they're fine. And the sickness and illnesses goes away. Yeah. And so people were actually hieroglyphing this back in Egypt a long time ago, and then it's evolved, and then it was only offered to kings and queens as a royal treatment. They would literally bend over, there was water that would gravity feed into the colon, and they would remove their waste. It was called a royal treatment. Right. So, and you can also use colon hydrotherapy as a prep for colonoscopies. I do like to tell people that a lot of people before their colonoscopies, will go and drink all the stuff and take the pills and do the prep. You don't have to do that. It's very challenging on your body. So you can do, I always recommend at least 2 or 3 colonics to really cleanse your body really, really.
And move appointments.
And move appointments, yeah, exactly. You can do the homework at home. Come in, we do a flush the night before, you'll flush the morning of, and then go do your colonoscopy. And I'm not against that. A lot of my clients ask me, are you opposed to it? It's a medical procedure, it can be threatening. It's not that bad, it's not invasive. It's a scope that goes up that can prevent you from getting really, really sick. Yeah. If it was a really horrible procedure and they're cutting you open and taking your blood and doing all sorts of stuff, I'm like, ugh, I don't do any of that. That's weird. No knives. Hydrotherapy, that's what I was going to explain there. What does colon hydrotherapy? It takes about 40 to 45 minutes. There is a tube that's gently inserted. It's lubricated. It's not all painful. It's considered a bit uncomfortable, as one would expect. We use about 20 gallons of water, sometimes less, sometimes more. It just depends on your body. And it's a series of fill and then release, and then fill and then release. The colon goes all the way around the body. It's about 5 feet long. It goes the full length of the colon. It cannot go any further than the colon because there is a little valve there called the ileocecal valve, which is a safety kind of technique thing. It's because anything in your large intestine, which is where the waste sits, never, ever, ever wants to have the ability to go back up into your body. So we, going in the back door, we can only go that far. But the good thing about doing a couple of them is as we start moving that large intestine and we start getting all that garbage out of the way, the small intestine, the liver, the gallbladder, the spleen, the pancreas, the stomach, they all are like, oh, there's room, let me detox. And so some of the secondary benefits of doing colonics is dumping your liver of old toxic waste or cleaning the gallbladder. You know, people who can't breathe well because it's up against the diaphragm, all of that starts going away. Back pain, which is coming from a congested small intestine, also goes away. I can't tell you how many recommendations I get probably weekly from chiropractors where people go to the chiropractor and like, oh, I have sciatic nerve issues, I got something wrong with my back. Doctor takes an x-ray and like, why don't you go see Betsy? All it is you're full of it. Literally, I tell people, like, you know, a lot of my clients, unlike you, they love cheese. They do. And that's the first thing I hear from people. It's like, I cannot get away from cheese. Well, we live in a society where cheese has become the #1 go-to. It's on your bread, it's on your eggs, it's on your broccoli, it's on your chicken, it's on everything you eat. And I'll tell you the reason behind it, and a lot of people don't know this, the government owns the farm industry. So the government puts out all those ads, milk, it does the body good, and all that. Well, they got sued $3 billion for that ad that says milk, it does the body good. They literally got sued. One of my clients was on a board. Oh yeah. Now they can say milk and calcium does the body good, and they've had to switch it, which is great. But what happened is the government told the farmers, produce milk. They kept producing milk. Well, they weren't selling it as fast as they could. They put it in vats. Well, it started to mold, and it started to get old and mold. And then the government said, you know what we'll do? We'll promote cheese because we can use your moldy milk that I told you to produce. We're the government. We got all this money. We'll tell everyone that cheese is good for them. And we'll put it in schools, and we'll put it on the bread, and we'll put it with the noodles, and we'll put it, and that's why we're all like, cheese everywhere, but we don't eat it. We know, but it's hard to give it up. I still do it occasionally, I will totally admit, but just not often, and if I do, I chew it really well. The thing with cheese that I tell everybody, you tell your friends and family that, if you really, really, really want a piece of cheese, enjoy a piece of cheese, chew it, indulge. If you have wine, have a sip of wine, enjoy that piece of cheese. Just don't put it on things that have other flavors. If you got a big salad with a piece of salmon, leave the cheese on. If you've got cucumbers and tomatoes and all this other stuff, why waste it on something you can't taste? Or a big bowl of chili, it's got all these spices and beans and all this great taste. Don't put cheese on that. If you want a piece of cheese, eat a little piece of cheese, enjoy, and then be done. And that's helped a lot of my clients get away from it. Cheese is a really big binder. Really big binder. Gluten being the second, because gluten is called gluten because it's glue, which means it sticks to you like plaster of Paris. They've made it so that it's sticky. Our bodies being, again, 70% water. If you take pasta, and you know when you're cooking it on a stovetop and it's sitting in the, you know, the pot, you're stirring it in water, you know how if it sits there too long, it's like sticky? And kids like to throw it on the wall and it sticks? Well, if you take that pasta and you put it in our bodies, which are 70% water, you got water and you got pasta. Now you've got paste and it goes right where we don't want it. And it sticks in there and it's glue. So that's why it's called glue. So even though I'm not celiac either, and I've been tested because I was like, what's wrong with me? I know that we just don't eat much of it. So, you know, try to do things with like lettuce wraps, you know, whatever you can do to try to do the vegan, gluten-free, blah, 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 the best you can. But it's, you know, it's not a immediate change, it's a lifestyle of small changes that make big differences. And that's, you know, what I tell everybody. Your gut is where most of your happy chemicals are produced. So your serotonin, your dopamine, your GABA, which is what makes us happy, calm, peaceful, joyful. 90% of it is produced in your gut. So if your gut is sick or congested, guess what? You're not happy. You're not happy. You're not sad. Well, you are. You're kind of low. You're not joyful. You're not at peace. You're not at calm because you don't have those things going on. So once people start cleansing that, all of a sudden they're uplifted and they can do the day better and they're happier. I didn't know that either. I had no idea. Like here I am diagnosed with depression and anxiety disorder and constipation. Well, it's all connected. Yeah. So that does help with mood. Definitely. You know, people, I've had people who are angry. God, we had somebody come in the other day. Angry client, mad at the world, just boom. Started cleansing, started detoxing, dumping her liver as well, doing a formula at home. Came in like 2 weeks later, and my whole staff literally was like, oh my gosh. She was happy.
16 pounds.
She did. She lost 16 pounds in a month. In a month by doing a program, like just cleansing, moving, doing the right thing, good and bad out. Literally came in shining. I'm not kidding. They were like running into me like, oh my God, do you know that lady? She just left. I was like, whoa. She just left. This is great. Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference. You see people every day when they get done with being cleansed.
We say to people when they're really mad, we go, you need a liver cleanse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's anger. It's for anger sets. So again, removal of plaque, cleansing, detoxing regularly. Again, I told you the anatomy of what our house looks like. The analogy of the house is also like, I know I already told you the one about the dentist, but the house is kind of, you know, in our houses, we decorate, we paint, we put up pictures, we pay a ton of money for the best sofas, we do all this stuff. But imagine what your house would be like if you never took the garbage out, right? We spent all this money, but the best flooring and everything else, but you never take the garbage out, no one wants to go in the house. It's the same thing with our bodies. You know, we try to put on the best things. You know, the lotions that are good for our bodies. We put on, you know, fragrance-free deodorants. We put on moisturizing lotion. We buy $300 boots, not these, but we do. People do. You know, you buy all this stuff to decorate the outside of our house. But if the inside's putrefied and dying and sick, you know, you're putting that to yourself. But it's amazing how I can tell somebody they want to buy a scarf that's, you know, $87, and there's no problem, but I tell them to buy $30 worth of what we call poopy pills to help you go, and they're like, oh, that's a lot. I'm like, really? Your scarf's not going to do you any good when you're in the hospital bed, just so you know. Yeah. So it's worth it. It's worth it to do the work. Okay, and then obviously the water. I go back to water just because it's so important. So, okay, we're getting to the end here, just talking about like decreasing the dairy, decreasing the gluten, letting go of the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual things that hold you down. And anyone, you know, we can all do those in a lot of different ways. I tell people, you know, you can, a lot of it's, you got to get rid of stuff any way you can. So some people, when they have issues, they go to a psychiatrist and they lay down on the couch and talk about their stuff. That's fine. Some people go in the colonic room and start moving physically. That's fine because you're also releasing mentally, emotional, spiritual. Some people go out and pray and they're releasing spiritual, which allows the body to also work. Some people work on their emotions or write, they journal, and amazingly enough, they start journaling their stuff and it moves, literally. It's amazing. So you can go on it any direction you want to. If you go at it every direction, you're going to get the best results. The other thing I do see with the colon hydrotherapy is physical waste does carry mental, emotion, and energy. So I've literally had people talk about stuff and they release some movement, and all of a sudden they're thinking about old memories, like childhood stuff, because it was attached to it. It's energy. Energy is never created nor destroyed. So energy is constantly evolving. So if your energy was in your gut when your 8th grade teacher told you you were worthless and never going to amount to anything, and you finally get that plaque moved off your lining, you might experience that again and finally let go of those stinking things that have happened to us in our lives. It's amazing. It really is so worth it. Okay, so probiotics. That's why I was giving you guys some of and give them some of the fermented foods if you don't mind. These are a local company. It's called Traditional Fermentations. We get it from a local person. It's your sauerkrauts. Have you had sauerkraut, Judy?
I've had it before, but I don't know if I really like it.
Okay, well, we'll give it a try.
Try it.
Yeah, try it. If you don't love it, don't worry about it. But it's something I definitely recommend. It's on the top 3 best foods for you every year. Fermented foods have good probiotic bacteria in it. So I do always recommend people get out probiotics, which is a supplement. But you can also, and you know, the way I like to do it is with breakfast, with other things, maybe with an egg, it's some salsa. It's really good with avocado. It's delicious when you mix it with things. Some people put it in their hummus and they eat it that way, or they put it on their salad. So it doesn't have to be just spoonfuls of fermented food, but if you can mix it in things, even in your soups, amazing for you. And it really good flora for your gut. It repopulates the good flora. The kombucha was the other one we introduced. The kombucha, we get that from a local guy, Gucci up in Asheville. They drive down once a month. They love us. We're the one of our small shops at the drop off of Greenville. And so that's also good fermented foods. Another thing is capers. I love those. Those are also on the top 5 good foods. We do encourage people to bring it into the world. Like I said, the green drink is amazing as your food. That's your vitamins, your minerals, your soup, your nutrition. Fermented foods is going to be your probiotics, your prebiotics, putting in good flora to battle some of the yeasty stuff that we get from the foods and the stresses in our lives. And then getting on some kind of homework formula, which is the one we pulled out today to show you there is Dr. Schultz. He's one of the best ever. He's strong. He means well. He means it. So we got the Formula 1, which is movement, and the Formula 2, which is a draw. One of the little puppies was going to become like a family pet for a friend of mine, and he got into rat poisoning because people would put rat poisoning everywhere. And the puppy was literally like maybe 4 pounds. I had activated charcoal with me, and the puppy got into the rat poisoning, was literally vomit, puking. Like, we didn't think it was going to make it. The vet was like 2 hours away, or I don't even know. It was going to take me a while to get there. Opened up the charcoal and literally shoved it down the puppy's mouth, vomited, got into the vet, and the vet said, you basically saved his life. Because the activated charcoal works so quickly on pulling toxins out of a body that it literally saved the dog's life. True story. Yeah. So again, that's something you do want to have in your medicine cabinet, unless you do eat something, and then just in case you eat something that is always something bad. That's the other thing I want to point out. Once people get on the other side of getting to that place where it's so uncomfortable and it's unbearable, and you get the roulette, you never have to go back there.